Tomorrow night is all about getting some payback for Northwestern when they take on Ohio State. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Northwestern, your daily podcast on the Northwestern Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome in. This is Locked On Northwestern, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Carter Bird, and thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every day. We really appreciate it. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find us. We're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. You can find us there. Wherever you are listening, make sure you are subscribed and you turn on notifications. You don't want to miss an episode as we continue to pump out content each week centered around Northwestern. It's been very basketball heavy over the last few weeks, considering all of the drama around the basketball team, from the COVID pause to the readjusted schedule to playing all those games in 13 days and really being a tournament kind of caliber team right now. It's been a lot of fun. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. This episode is brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. All right, let's dive into this because Northwestern takes on Ohio State for the second time this season here tomorrow night. Northwestern coming in with a 16-7 record, 7-5 in Big Ten play. Currently tied for fourth in the Big Ten with the likes of Iowa, Michigan, and Illinois. They're scoring 68.3 points per game coming in, allowing 62 points per game. So they're plus 6.3 points per game this year. Not exactly an efficient basketball team, shooting just 40.7% from the field this year. But they're very good defensively, allowing 40.1% of opposing field goals to be converted as well. They are 31.6% from three this year. Opponents are 35.2% from three. They're a 74.6 free throw shooting team percentage-wise, and they attempt around 13.7 free throws per game. Boo Buie leads the squad with 16.1 points per game. Chase Audige, pretty close thereafter at 15.3 points per game. Boo Buie leads the team with 4.5 assists per game. Chase Audige is second with 3.0, 3 flat assists per game this year. Matthew Nicholson, he leads the team on the glass with about 6 rebounds per game. Robbie Barron is second at 5.1 rebounds per game. This is Northwestern's second best 23-game start in school history. 16-7 right now. The only time that has been beaten was in the 2016-17 season when they started 18-5. Second best Big Ten start as well at 7-5. That same season, 2016-17, they started 8-4. Last time out, Northwestern got a huge road win, 54-52 at Wisconsin, completing the first season sweep of Wisconsin since the 95-96 season. So it'd been quite a while. Been about, 27 years since the last time they had done that. Boo Buie has scored in double figures in 21 of the last 23 games, including 17 straight. Chase Audige is one of 10 players that has been named to the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year watch list as he continues a truly amazing year on the defensive end. He makes life very difficult for opposing offensive players that he's matched up with. He is averaging 2.5 steals per game, which is the most in the Big Ten and 6th nationally. Boo Buie leads the Big Ten in free throw percentage at 89.7%, as that number is just stupid high. There's not many players in the country that would have a higher percentage than he does. Chase Audige is third in the conference at 84.7% at the line. Robbie Barron's a pretty good free throw shooter too. On the last broadcast, I think one of the last couple games, I think he's top 5 in the conference as well, as he's above 80% as well. Audige and Buie are the only duo averaging 15 plus points per game in the Big Ten this year. And they're the first Northwestern duo on pace to do so since John Sherna and Drew Crawford in the 2011-2012 season. When you look at this Northwestern team, the record is good. The Big Ten record is good. Big Ten slate to this point has been probably a little bit lighter than it's going to be. It's going to be really challenging the rest of the way, but great opportunities to build that resume. They're a tournament team right now. They're number 59 in the KenPom, number 53 in the net rankings, as they are 4-4 in quad 1 games, 2-3 in quad 2 games, 3-0 in quad 3 games, and 7-0 in quad 4 games. We know that strength of schedule is about to go way up because it gets really challenging down the stretch here, but some great opportunities to build a really, really, really impressive resume if they go out and get some wins here in the back half. I mean, you got Ohio State and you got Purdue and Indiana in your next 3, I do believe. Great opportunities to further build that resume. Certainly going to be something we talk about here going forward. And I think even if you lose some of these games because you're playing such highly ranked teams in the KenPom and the net rankings, that it may not damage your net rankings and KenPom rating all that much. We're going to talk about Ohio State here in just 1 second. But first, we need to talk about our friends from FanDuel. This year, the only app you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. We're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On because they're the #1 sportsbook in America. That's FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. Download FanDuel now so you can bet Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel lets you bet on everything from money line to point spreads to who will score a touchdown. FanDuel, the app is safe and secure and super easy to use. With this game, I might look at that app and see. I'm starting to lean back in the Eagles' favor. I just think that they're a really good team. I think they've got a team of destiny vibes this year. I think the Jalen Hurts story is so good as well. It's a great story, and how he's gone from being a good college quarterback to being benched in college to getting drafted, finally getting his opportunity in the NFL and taking this team to the Super Bowl. And you know what? With FanDuel, best of all, you can get paid your winnings instantly. So join FanDuel today at FanDuel.com/lockedon to claim your no sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Also, thank you again for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every day. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear from big name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All right, let's talk about Ohio State. Ohio State coming in. This team is 11-12. They are 3-9 in Big Ten play. They have lost 4 in a row, and they have lost 9 of their last 10. So they're a team that's kind of been hemorrhaging here in the last month and a half, really. Bryce Sensabaugh leads the team with 17.3 points per game and 5.6 rebounds per game. He was just named to the Julius Erving Award top 10 for the nation's best small forward. Zed Key leads the team with 7.7 rebounds per game. In this series, Ohio State leads the series 129 wins to 48 losses. So it's been very lopsided. 81 wins more in Ohio State's favor. Northwestern has a 4-game losing streak in Columbus. Their last win in Columbus coming in an 87-77 win on December 27th, 2016. The last Northwestern win in general over Ohio State was a 71-70 win on December 26th, 2020 at home, obviously. And the last time out earlier this year, Ohio State won this matchup 73-57. And we'll talk more about that game because I do think that there was maybe a little bit of an isolated incident. This Ohio State team, despite the record below 500, is number 34 in the KenPom, and they actually, when you look at the numbers, they're a really good offense. Just they're as high as number 15 in offensive adjusted efficiency. They're number 40 in the net rankings. Last time out in their last game, they lost 77-69 at Michigan. That one's got to hurt because that's a rivalry game for them. And that's a Michigan team. It was 2 teams really going into that game that were very, very desperate to get a win because they're trying to pull themselves out of some holes that they built with slow starts and pull themselves into the NCAA tournament. Their last win was a 93-77 win at home versus Iowa on January 21st. So it's been a little bit since we've seen this Ohio State team get a win. And I wonder if that's weighing on this team coming into this matchup versus Northwestern, or are they leaning on the fact that they handled Northwestern really the first time in Welsh Ryan Arena? I think that's going to be an interesting thing to kind of keep an eye on going into this game. They are 8-3 at home this year. And their projected finish, according to KenPom, is going to be 15-6 overall and 7-13 in conference play. I think it actually may predict Ohio State to get about a 5-point win, if I recall, in this game. I think it might be a 72-67 score, if I'm recalling that correctly. But we're going to talk more about this matchup here in a second. But first, we just want to thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today. For your second listen, check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Experts Isaac Shade and Andy Patton bring you everything you need to know on and off the court. Plus, hear from big name experts, coaches, and players throughout the basketball landscape. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. All right, talking about this game right now. Ohio State last time out got the win 73-57. And when you look at the numbers, you can really see why. Because one team was pretty efficient. One team got great production up and down the roster. Sensabaugh led the way with 18 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, and he did have 2 turnovers. He was 7 of 13 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, and 2 of 2 at the free throw line. Sean McNeil had a big game as well. 15 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal in the game. Justice Suing, he had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block. Did have 3 turnovers, but he was positive in that assist to turnover ratio. He was 4 of 8 from the field, 5 of 9 at the free throw line. So not a great day at the free throw line. Could have been even better performance for him. Zed Key, not like an overwhelming amount of points, but 11 points. Did have 11 rebounds as he posted a double-double in this game last time. 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 2 turnovers. He was 4 of 8 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3, and 3 of 4 at the free throw line. When you look at Northwestern, a lot less efficient. Chase Audige, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, just 1 steal. So he was a steal and a half below his average, 1 turnover. He was 6 of 17 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3, and 2 of 4 at the free throw line. Ty Berry had 11 points, 1 rebound, 1 steal, and 1 turnover. Not as active of a game as we've seen from him at times. He's generally a pretty decent rebounder for a guard. He's generally pretty good at getting steals as well. He was 4 of 11 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, and 1 of 1 at the free throw line. Not efficient, really. Better than Audige, though. And then Boo Buie, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 turnover. But he was 3 of 15 from the field. 3 of 15. 3 of 10 from 3, and 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Just a wildly inefficient game from him, especially when you go 0 of 5 from 2 for the game. Robbie Barron, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks, and a turnover. 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, 4 of 4 at the free throw line. An efficient game from him. And then finally, Matthew Nicholson, 0 points, 13 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 1 turnover, 0 of 7 from the field. If I recall, this may have been his first or second start of the season. 0 of 4 at the free throw line. We know he's not a good free throw shooter, but 0 of 4 is really, really bad. He's got to give you more than 0 points in this second matchup. He was fine on the glass, 13 boards. You love to see that. But you cannot take 4 free throws and 7 shots from the field and miss every single one of them and finish the game with 0 points. That's unacceptable. Just a wildly inefficient game from Northwestern. They shot just 28.4% from the field in this game last time out, 19 of 67. And then they were 29% from 3, 9 of 31. And they weren't even good from the free throw line. They were 58.8%, 10 of 17. Just all around the worst shooting game that we saw Northwestern have all year long. And it started from the word go. I think they started like 2 of 24 from the field as they built a 34-8 deficit. They were down 26 in the first half. As Ohio State built that lead and ran away from the game right off the bat. But Northwestern did finish the first half on a 9-1 run. They go to half down 35-17. In the second half, Northwestern actually wins the half. They scored 40 points. Ohio State scored 38. And that ended in a 73-57 loss for the game. When you look at this matchup, I really think you're going to see a different Northwestern team. You're going to see a team that's playing with a lot of confidence. You're seeing an Ohio State team that I don't think is playing with that much confidence. They've kind of been beaten down here over the last 10 games. Northwestern, on the other hand, there have been a couple bad stretches. You lost a couple games in a row twice, but you've responded very well, especially coming off the 8-day COVID pause. going 4-2 in that 6 games in 13 days. Finally got some rest, can get right. Don't know what the status is of Julian Roper in this game. He's been a little banged up with that ankle injury, came back for one game, got it hurt again. But finding Nick Martinelli has been huge. The consistency that you've gotten, the consistent effort and the belief that this team has been awesome. Chase Audige and Boo Buie have led the way more times than not. They've had a couple bad games in there, but you've been able to overcome it. Ty Berry went nuts one time. If he can continue to play well, Robbie Barron's had some good stretches. Matthew Nicholson has had some good stretches. If you get that production out of those guys, Titus Verhoeven, for a guy who does not shoot a lot, a guy who does not play the most minutes on the team, he's been pretty good in some stretches over the last 2 weeks. So that's another guy to keep an eye on in this game. Can he continue to be effective? He fouls a lot, but he's gotten some block shots. He scored some. He's got some looks at the rim. He's finished some shots. He's given you some quality minutes as well. This game tomorrow night, I believe it is at 7 p.m. Central Time in Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Be on FS1. The game will be called by Tim Brando and Jim Jackson. The line right now, according to our friends at FanDuel, it is Ohio State -4.5. The over-under is 137.5. In this game, I think you're going to see a different Northwestern team. I think you're going to see a motivated Northwestern team, a Northwestern team that should be prepared. They haven't had this long to prepare for a team in forever. They should be fresh because they're coming off rest from Sunday to Thursday. They should be fresh. They should be ready to go. Give me Northwestern +4.5, but you are playing a pretty good little offense. I think Northwestern in some spurts has shown some ability to shoot the ball pretty well. I think you're actually going to hit the over 137.5. I think Northwestern pulls the upset. That's what I'm going to say right here. Then they get another resume building win, and they continue to climb up the KenPom, climb up the net rankings, as they got a little bit of a gauntlet here coming up. And it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about as this team tries to make a run to its second ever NCAA tournament. That's going to do it for today's episode. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every day. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find us. We're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. Wherever you are listening, make sure you're subscribed. You turn on notifications. You don't want to miss an episode. I'm your host, Carter Bird. You can follow me on social media at CarterBird13. We'll be back tomorrow, probably talking a little bit of football because there has been some news since the last time we've touched on it. But tomorrow night will be a lot of fun watching this Northwestern team in action. Till next time, I'll see you later.